up, everyone? Welcome back to the Leveled Up Life podcast. Merry Christmas. Come on, it's Happy New Year's. We pray that you had an incredible time with your family this last week, but now it's time to level up for the new year because it's right around the corner. And that's what we're trying to do, is help you level up your life in all the areas that matter most: your faith, your family, your fitness, your finance, and your franchise. As always, here with Paul McClain.
My man.
Let's get it, man.
Let's do it, dude. Hey, no better time than now. No better person than you. And so this is this podcast, I believe, bro, this is the one that's going to set people up to go out there and actually not just have a good intentional start to the year, but man, a well-accomplished, successful start to the year. And I mean, dude, we're all more alike than not alike, bro. I mean, I could tell you how many years that I sat back and said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Like, I knew what I wanted, but at the end of 30 days, it wasn't there. It's kind of like the gym, man. You go January 1st, bro, it's going to be packed. Everybody's there. They got their new Christmas gear on. You know, the new Christmas shoes are feeling good. You go to the gym, dude, February 1st, you're like, man, I could just pull straight into the gym and get out. I don't even have to find a part. It's wide open. Why? Everybody has quit. And so today, man, let's unpack really probably the most important ways to make that good intention a true discipline that can bridge the gap. Because I think Maxwell says that, you know, the gap between intentions and accomplishment, man, that's discipline.
Yeah, that's good.
But then it's like, well, how do we get the discipline? Right? How do we stay disciplined? How do we create that? You know, because you get distracted and then you get comfortable, and discipline is uncomfortable, and we want to be motivated to stay comfortable. And so let's talk about the things that I believe will really help that: accountability and competition.
Come on.
So let's unpack it.
Well, dude, number one, you got to be accountable to something. I mean, I think it's really hard to accomplish anything without accountability. Like, I think accountability to me, like something that we even talked about this last year, was a big thing in my life. I was like, dude, I invited more guys into my life to hold me accountable, just because, like, I know that as my influence grows, my reach grows, like, dude, I need more accountability in my life, not less. And so that was something that was big in my life. Like, dude, I invited you in. I mean, you're already in the inner circle, but I was like, dude, I need even more accountability, some other guys too. And so in your life, you got to take an inventory and go, hey, who am I accountable to? Like, accountable in my relationship, accountable in my finances, accountable in my parenting, accountable in my business. I think that when you don't want accountability, it's typically because you're trying to hide something. Mm-hmm. You know, it's because you're trying to, like, you're not doing the things necessary to get you to where you need to go. But when it's like, dude, I got nothing to hide, I need more eyes on me to really pull me to that higher level of living. And so I would do an audit of your life and go, hey, in my business, in my finances, where am I at? Who do I need to bring in? Because, dude, for me, it's like, well, if I know I got 5 guys that I'm accountable to in every area of my life, dude, I ain't messing up. Dude, I'm going to have to answer. You know what I mean? And so I think it's a good thing, man. I don't think anything great gets accomplished without accountability. It's kind of like your kids, they all have coaches, right? And so the higher level they go to in their sport, the more accountability there is. In the rec, it's like, you text the coach 2 minutes before the game, like, hey, we're not showing up, staying home, stomach hurts. Mm-hmm. Dude, you can't get away with that. Higher level, true. You know? Just ask Peyton McClain what happens when you do that.
Well, dude, you got to stack the deck, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, the thing is this, like, most people, you know, we have this vision of ourselves, like, let's just call it the next level version of yourself, right? And you know what that looks like. You know, like, man, I want to be in better shape. I want to have a better relationship with God. I want to have a better relationship with my spouse and have the relationships that I currently have and hold to flourish and be better. I mean, everybody wants progression. Everybody wants it to get better. But where the rub comes in, and I think the separator between the one that says they want it, because we all say we want it, but then the person that actually goes out there and does it is they actually put feet behind it. They start putting parameters in place that stack the deck, so it's most likely to happen. I'll give you an example, man. Like, I mean, how many times, like, for instance, with interviewing people that you're bringing on board for your company, that you interview them and they don't come back to the second interview, or they don't even show up to the first interview, right? You got like 90% of them. Packed schedule. Yeah. You're like, man, I'm gonna find a good person today. But if you're smart, which this is just a sideline tip, you want to interview hard, you want to hire hard, so your business will grow easy, right? So, but I've had many times, and I'm sure you have, where you got a packed schedule from 9 a.m. to 5. Dude, I've got like 30 people coming in to interview, and 12 show up. Yep. Well, the other ones, why didn't they show up? they didn't show up because they didn't really want to stop doing what they were doing. They're comfortable
Right.
just being where they're at. They're
good.
comfortable just like hanging out on the couch, not making much money, but they know their intention is they should go to work. So they kind of make themselves feel good. Like I tried,
Right.
but deep down they really don't want to try. And I believe it's the same way for, every part of our life. If it's fitness, we're going to talk about that. It's and I think it's easy to kind of look at because we all kind of heard and understand this. But the person that says I want to work out and lose some weight in January 1st, the person that's really committed is the one that gets a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Because now they got skin in the game. Now they've stacked the deck and they say, okay, I don't want to be inconsistent with how I perceive myself. And that's a big deal. And the perception of yourself is always the one that's the most ideal, the leveled up version of you. And so, Brandon, if I'm like, dude, I want to work out, and I just say that, but now all of a sudden I tell you that I want to work out, well, now it's a much more likely to take place. I've stacked the deck. I've increased the probability. The odds are growing. And then if I say, hey, bro, let's go to the gym together at 6 o'clock. Now when I wake up and say it's 5:30, and normally I would just roll over and hit snooze or what have you, bro, I'm like, I don't want to be I'm like, Branamier's going to be there at 6.
Yeah.
He's like, that fool Paul, I knew he was just a slug, man, a lazy fool. Like, look, he ain't even here. And I'm thinking, like, I'm now judging Brand, like, thinking about me not showing up. And I said I was going to show up. I want to be consistent with what I said about myself. And so now I'm more likely to show up.
Well, it's consequences, right? It's like the bigger the consequence, the more likely you are to do something. So if you have if the consequence is just me shaming you, well, I mean, yeah, it sucks a little bit, but like it still might not be enough for you to actually show up. But if it's like, dude, you're gonna die, like your heart is gonna explode because you're so out of shape for not going to the gym.
Yeah.
Then the consequence is massive. So you're more likely to take action. So you got to sometimes trick yourself.
That's right. That's
into
good.
Like going, dude, if I don't go to this job interview, like I'm gonna lose my house. If I don't, call these leads or close these deals, like you got to sometimes trick yourself into a massive consequence that will hold you accountable. So it's more than just like, well, my brother's gonna make fun of me. Well, yeah, it sucks for a little bit, but like he'll get over it. We'll move on. So you got to look at your life and go, all right, where's the accountability and what's the consequence if I don't do X, Y,
that
Z?
is so good. Hey, you got to rewind and listen to that 17 times.
Dude, I'd be making some consequences up.
Dude, that's everybody, bro. But that's the ticket, because the reality is, your perception creates your reality.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you got to perceive things in such a way so you can step in today to build what you want tomorrow by having a skewed perspective on maybe what probably wouldn't be happening. Maybe you're over exaggerating it, but man, over exaggerating is if that's what's necessary to move.
I just remember so many different times in my life. Like I've had my business now for going on 9 years. And I remember at so many different points in the journey, it's been like, dude, my back has really been up against the wall.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if I don't close this deal or like make this happen, I'm out. And every single time I figured out a way like that I normally wouldn't do. And I think about those moments and I'm like, well, why was I able to land 7 more customers that month and none for the last 4 months? Well, it's because I was doing things differently because I had a real consequence. And so
That's good.
It's a mental game, right? Like you got to trick yourself into going, dude, I got to get 7 this month, even though you really don't, because the consequence in reality is not that big. But there's something I think that makes a difference in entrepreneurs where they could just like, dude, think about Elon Musk. Dude, he's the richest man in the world. He works like 110 hours a week. Like for what? He don't need no more money.
Right.
He's got something he's going after. Like he's accountable to like, I'm sure many different people. Like the consequence of him not doing what he's supposed to do is massive. And most people, if we ever got a 1% of that amount of money, like, dude, I'm retiring forever.
Yeah.
And so it's like I think it's just a mental game.
So you said I want to make sure we revisit this and you guys get the notes down. So 2 things. One, peer-to-peer accountability. The second is personal accountability. The personal accountability is where you kind of develop that consequence mindset, right? That's something where now peer-to-peer accountability is going to set you up and help you really kind of stay in line with that discipline long enough for it to become a habit. That's the easier path, right? Like I'm just more likely to do the thing I need to do if I've told you to do it.
For sure.
And we're talking about it, we're competing in it, I'm more likely to show up. The personal accountability, that's like another level to accountability.
Yeah.
That means that, like, even if I'm not in this peer-to-peer accountability, I'm going to perceive something in such a way where I'm like, I need to do this because the consequence is so great that if I don't do it, that pain of not doing it, it far supersedes the pain of actually doing it and getting uncomfortable. And I think that's such a big deal, man. I would do the same thing, Brent, when I would run appointments. There'd been, and it works both ways. Like, I'd have one day where I got crushed. I'm like, dude, I just want to go home and, like, take Xanax and, just hang out and I'm just like this is terrible. This day could not have gone any worse, right? All the people are not showing up, no sales. The agents I talked to, they ain't doing nothing. I'm like, these guys are late. I recruited the wrong people. Like, everything is like, dude, what in the world? What business am I living in, right? And then I'm like, oh, and I got an 8:30 appointment. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to, after 12 hours of having zero success, go to an 8:30 appointment in Bakersfield. That just sounds fun. And I'm trying to sell myself on why I shouldn't go. Like, why would I not go? I'm out of my game, out of my element. My mind's not right. Why did I go to this 8:30 appointment? And then I got to switch the sell, because you're selling yourself all day long. And this goes back to exactly what you said, Brand, which is so powerful. And now it's like, well, no, what if that 8:30 appointment is the one that I'm going to roll over a $400,000 401k and I'm going to end up making 20 grand, and it's going to fix my week? Or what if at the same time, and I do both, it would be for the revenue that would come from me actually putting the activity in, and then also the service that would lead to the client. And that's it. What if I knew that client wasn't going to come home tomorrow night, but because I decided I'm so selfish that I had a bad day, I'm not going to go serve this client, they don't come home, and now that wife doesn't have their husband. They got to tell their kids that daddy ain't coming home, and they don't have the means to pay the bills and pay for the house. So then I would go, and most of the time it would work out in a favorable way because I'm telling myself that there is something there for me to be had. Now, likewise, and I don't want to beat this up too much, but man, it happens also on the other side. On the other side, it's compromise. Now it's like, and I remember with Daryl, dude, I had him in an appointment. He was doing a ride along. Dude, this is going back, like, I'm probably 20, 21. And man, I had a day where I had made like 18 grand in a day, and I'm 20.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm going to go to the Bahamas and then Cancun for like 3.5 weeks. Man, I'm going to I'm gone, dude. Like, I'm retired, and I got an 8:30 appointment, right? I killed it the whole day. And my 8:30 appointment, I'm actually running behind too, because my 7 o'clock appointment was so dang good, dude. I wrote like the mom, the freaking aunt, the uncle, like, dude, dude, I was killing it. So I got out, it was like 9 o'clock. I'm like, I'm gonna get to this house at 10 o'clock. It was in Asperia, right? True story. And it was Gabriel and Anna. I remember the clients, and Daryl's in the car, and he knows I got an appointment. And now I'm thinking, like, and I honestly believe if he wasn't in the car, I would have went home. Because I'm like 20 minutes from home. I made like 18 grand in a day. I'm like, dude, I'll just push that 8:30 appointment to a different day. Like, what do I care, bro? Like, I went well above what I expected based off my normal ratio numbers. But Daryl's looking at me, right? I'm like, God, I can't give him the wrong habit, right? And so I'm like, he's like, you going to the last appointment? I'm like, yeah, of course I am. What kind of fool do you think I am? Of course I'm going to the last appointment, man. That's where all the money's made. That's how you help the most people. So I get to the last appointment at 9:30 at night, right? I'm an hour and a half late. Knock on the door. They're sleeping, dude. Right. And so Daryl's standing next to me. They answer the door, and the kids, I can see them. They're like in the living room, like, they had made like it was like a Saturday night, like a fort, watching a movie. And he's like, man, my wife's getting ready to fall asleep. Kids are sleeping. Can we reschedule? And I had a decision to make. Either I reschedule it, or I showed Daryl how important it is to make sure that we serve the person while we're there. And I said, listen, man, I know how late it is, and I've been so behind serving people all day long. I've been at this for like the last 14 hours, but I knew how important this was for your family. So I want to make sure I still came by and served you guys before the schedule got out of whack, because I won't be able to get back out here because we're that behind. But I've got 10, 15 minutes to go through it with you real quick. You want me to take my shoes off or leave them on? He said, all right, man, come on. You can leave them on.
That's good.
So I go in. Fast forward, long story short, dude, I write them a policy, right? It's like, $3,000 in premium a year, ROP and everything. So it brought like $4 grand in additional commission. But the big thing is, a week later, she calls me. He's a long haul truck driver. He's driving down the Cone Pass, gets in a car accident. His truck catches on fire and he dies.
Jeez.
True story. They have 4 little kids. And I knew their whole story because I was there. He was from Idaho. They had just moved out here to the high desert in Asperia, and she didn't work. And I was able to as I went through the process, I brought out a check for $350,000 to that family.
Jeez.
But think about what if I didn't. Now, I say that, but there's a story you can tell yourself that's going to help you stay accountable to the discipline that you need to do, and you just got to sell yourself on the right story. You know what I mean? And it's such a big deal.
Dude, that's so powerful, man. I think when you could visualize, that's why vision is so important, right? It's like that's why a testimony is so important. Because dude, now when I'm tired, when I don't want to do something, I'm gonna think about Anna and those kids. You know, it's like because we've all been there. We've all been in the place where it's like, "Hey, I don't need to do this. Like for what? But when you hear little things like that, and just like how that, like we talked about last week, that the one small good decision led to someone else's like literally their life being changed.
Yeah.
And I think every single day you and I have to make these small decisions that could change not only our life and our family's life, because not only did Anna get help, but your family got help,
Yeah.
you know, but it could have just been the opposite too. Like it could have been like, well, dude, now who knows what those kids' life would have looked like? Who knows what their kids' life would have looked like? Who knows what your life would have looked like? So just think it's so important, man, to be accountable in both ways. And so that's a good story. I appreciate that, dude.
Well, dude, I'll tell you this much, man. At the end of the day, it really comes down to, placing yourself in an environment that allows you to make the best choice.
Yeah.
Because, dude, we're all more alike than not alike, dude. And it's so easy when you're not stepping the way you want to step, the enemy will get you to believe that that's just you, right?
Yeah.
Like, man, you're just a fool. You're just a loser. You're just lazy. And the reality is, no, we all deal with that same stuff. I just believe that there's certain people, the difference is they put themselves in different environments.
Environment is so important, man.
And they give them a couple different tools that make the greatest difference. You know what I mean?
100%.
And I think that's such a big deal. And so as we step into this new year, we're going to launch the Leveled Up Life app. It's called the Morning Discipline Journal. And this is to give some handles to go out there and grab onto those disciplines and really create an environment that allows you to be more successful. Let's just say this. If there was two different yous in 2025, one that's really going after everything. You look back in the year and you're like, man, I wanted to be here and I'm here. I wanted my finances to look like this and they look like that. I wanted this, my fitness and I look like this. And then the other one is the you that you're like, another year.
Yeah.
Man, next year, right? And you wait for the national reset button, January 1st.
Baby.
Yeah, 2026 is a year of transformation. And then it happens again. What if it was just as simple as changing or putting yourself in a better environment, giving yourself a tool that will help you separate from the you that you don't want to be to the next level you? And I don't want to be overly simplistic here, but dude, I really believe it might just be that.
100%.
Like this is the year where you put yourself in an environment of accountability, and anything I've been accountable to, man, I'm better at. Anything I'm accountable to, I'm better at. And so the app, we're going to have these challenges, and we want to invite you guys. I'm going to go through what the challenge will be for the first 30 days. So it's going to start, the app will launch January 1st, so right around the corner. Once you get going and you download the app, you can friend request myself and Bran.
Yeah.
You just type in the name in the friend request section. We'll become a friend of yours through the Leveled Up Morning Discipline Journal app. Then once you become you friend request, we'll accept it, and we're going to add you to the 30-day challenge that we're going to do. It's got a customizable challenge feature in the app, and so if you want to be part of our challenge, great. We'll send an invite. If you're like, nope, don't want to do that, then reject it, right? You got the power is in your hands to accept or reject the challenges that go before you. But this challenge is going to have one chapter a day in the Bible. Bran had a great suggestion. I was like, dude, what's a good book? We're going to do John, right?
Yep.
John's got 21 chapters. And then after John's done on day 21, and we're going to then go into Proverbs and wrap up that 30 days with Proverbs. Each day you got to do 8 affirmations. So you list 8 affirmations. We talked about that a couple weeks back.
Yep.
That's just like that next level you, like the who you, right? The one that's going to hit those goals. 3 things to be grateful for. 5-minute prayer every day. 5-minute of visualization, just like what Brandon talked about, like visualizing you doing those behaviors that are going to allow you to accomplish those goals, and then embodying those feelings. Visualizing the things you want to be grateful for and feeling those feelings of gratitude for those. 30-minute workout, and then 1 gallon of water, and then 1 appreciation text per day. Man, this has been powerful. I did this in certain seasons throughout the year. Sometimes I was better than not, but just saying, man, hey, I appreciate you, dude. Just want to say thank you for who you are in my life. Thank you for what you exemplify. Just a quick text. It could be thanking your spouse. I mean, I don't got a lot of people to thank your spouse every day.
Yep.
Just thank you that you haven't left me yet because I'm a dysfunctional fool, whatever it is, right? But just send an appreciation, but send something out. So that'll be the challenge. And when you open the app, just like 75 Hard, right? You've got the different you got to click them that you did the task. This will be the same way. So you got to go on and click that you did each task. It'll create a leaderboard, which is the unique feature. So if there's 25 people in the challenge or 30 people in the challenge, myself and Bram, every day we go in and click those off. It'll say day, if it's day 5, we've done 5 of 5 days, or 3 of 5 days, or 2 of 5 days. So you'll see the leaderboard, and at the end of 30 days, it'll have a winner. It'll say you won. It'll have who was in second, third place, all the way to the last place, and it'll actually, on the app, I had it created where it says you lost, because I want you to know, if you lost, you lost, man. Yeah. It is what it is, Get better, be better. But it's going to be a great feature. You could do it with your family. I was talking to Daryl, and he's like, man, I got a cool challenge that I want to do it with the Martinez's.
Yeah.
So you can create the Martinez challenge, and whatever you guys want to do to level up, right? It could be in your business. I was talking to another sales rep. I said, dude, what about doing something for your team? Like, we're going to make 100 phone calls a day of cold outreach. We're going to call 5 current clients and ask for referrals. We're going to read 10 pages in a personal growth book, and we're going to work out for 30 minutes. And that could be your challenge, right? So you can customize it once you put a name to it, create the topics, and then you can invite the people. They've got to accept it, and then it creates in that challenge every day. When you go into your app, you'll see you might have 5 challenges you're part of, 7 challenges you're part of, 1 challenge you're part of. But as you go through, you check those boxes, and it'll continue to, put it together. So accountability and challenge together. A little competition.
I like it. Well, dude, I'm excited, man, because I'm big on simplistic, and so it seems like this app, dude, has everything that we both do. Like, instead of going to 20 different apps and trying to figure it out, it's all in one. There's accountability to it. There's competition to it. I ain't losing. I'm saying that right now.
Let's go.
And so I'll probably be in 10 different challenges. And so we're gonna roll this out to the church. We got a bunch of different people that we're talking to about this. We're going to get it in different groups, because we're trying to help people level up, man. I think this is going to be one of those things that gets them to the next level. So I'm excited for what the year has to offer.
Yeah. And
I'm a big believer in how you end the year is how you start the year, man. So no slowing down. I know it's the last week. Go after it. Work hard. Man, I believe that God has big things in store for us. So
yeah. Well, dude, I'll tell you what, man. The one thing I appreciate you, Brand, is, a lot of things, but one thing specifically is that, when we launched this podcast, the reality is we wanted to bring value to you, that it wasn't just inspiration, but would lead to transformation.
Yeah.
And you live that, dude, and all of what you do through the church. I was a part of the services the last week or so, and just the impact that's being made, because it's just not said, it's lived, right? An example is worth 1,000 words, and you exemplify that. And so as we bring this to you guys, we don't want to just leave you with some ideas, but give you a tool that allows you to go out there and put it into place. Because I do know I've listened to many podcasts over a long period of time in my life, man. I was a personal growth guy, dude, if there's something out there, I'm your avatar, like you're talking about. I'm like, hey, tell me, I'll get it, because I want to learn how to get better. And what I realize is that, man, it's not about just knowing, it's about the doing. And sometimes the doing is the hardest part, because we don't have the accountability or tools to do it. And so I really hope and I believe that this is going to serve you and serve you well, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment below, and guys, hey, invite us to a challenge. You'll see us. You just type our name in, and we will show up. And you could challenge us to what you want to challenge us to, depending on what it is. We may accept or reject. But hey, it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a fun way to start the year. Brand, I love you, brother. Looking forward to a big year this year. Guys, make it a big, big week. Be strong, stay steadfast, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.